Hey guys, today we are going to be doing a 2022 prediction video of just the 2022 midterms and my prediction. And obviously, the last time I did this, I didn't. Roe v. Wade confirmation hearings did not come out, and that would obviously help the Democrats because Roe v. Wade in America is pretty popular. 60% of households support it. So, and Roe v. Wade is very polarizing abortion, I think. You either hate it or you either love it, basically, about abortion. It's like, there's really no middle way with abortion, I guess. But yeah, obviously, I do think Washington, Oregon, California go to Democrats. Idaho, Democrats. I think Colorado, I don't even think it would be likely. I just think it would go to Michael Bennet fully. All these states, of course. I'm going to make Missouri a swing state. You'll see why later. Actually, Ohio swing state too. Illinois, I think that, yeah. Okie dokie. And yeah. So Utah also Republicans. Sorry, forgot about that. And Connecticut, New York, Maryland, no, Vermont, and New Hampshire. So I think the swing states of 2022 will be Nevada, Arizona, Missouri, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. And this is going to be a very close election. It's going to be one of the closest midterm elections, maybe all. I don't know. This is going to be extremely close. Look at this poll from Georgia I found, okay? We'll talk about this later. Look how close this is, okay? Look. It's this close, okay? It's going to be a close year, okay? So, I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be a weird... It's just going to be the Republicans will advantage from Biden's unpopularity, and the Democrats will, benefit from Roe v. Wade and also other minor issues no one really cares about, to be honest. They would help from that. And also in some states, it's really Senate elections are not presidential elections. You need to think in every state that's going for real election, there are different candidates. It's not like the same candidate, it's a different candidate for every state, which makes it different. So let's start with Nevada. So Nevada, in my last prediction, I gave Nevada lean to the Republicans. And I would have kept it like that if it wasn't for, obviously, Roe v. Wade. But a lot of stuff has changed. Roe v. Wade, new polling, and other stuff. And I just think that, the polls right now show that she's winning by a small amount, not by much. I think it's going to be close. This is going to be a very close one. This is going to be, I feel like both, it's just, Nevada, both of the parties will pay attention to it. It's going to be a very important state. The polls are close. The candidates are close. Nevada's a major swing state in this election. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much in my videos, but it's just going to. And there are a lot of Democratic voters and a lot of ranch Republicans. That's what ranch Republicans. That's what I call them. If that makes sense. And I think that Roe v. Wade in Nevada is popular. I'm just gonna say that because of Las Vegas. Not trying to assume anything, but you know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I do think that Nevada. I think Roe v. Wade would be popular there. I also think that the Democrats would get more funding. I think the Democrats would get a lot of funding in the state. This is what I found. Okay. I do not think that Adam Laxalt, the likely Republican candidate, will get a lot of funding from this. And I still think, I don't know why, I just have that feeling that maybe the Republicans would not put that much funding there. And will put it in other states. So I do think that it would go to the Democrats in a tilt margin. I think this would be truly one of the closest states. I really do. And, Nevada is a very weird state to me. I don't know what it changes political like things a lot. 2000s Republican state with 3 electoral votes will always go to Republicans. Strong Democratic state, swing state, Democratic state, swing. It's just weird. I just don't know how to categorize Nevada. It's like it changes a lot. I think, and mostly in the recent decades. Before these like 20 years ago, I guess it was going to go to Republican. It was a strong Republican state, but it's just changing a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. So I do think that Catherine Cortez Masto would win re-election. She's also the incumbent, so it's like she has experience. Look at her. And the polls show her up too. Last race she won. Fundraising, I think she would do well. So, according to this map, I just think she would win by a tilt margin. And now, next Arizona, I think Mark Kelly would win it by a lean margin. A lot of people give it to him by tilt or gave it to Republicans. I just think Mark Kelly would do well. Look at this. Okay. Mark Kelly, I think, is a popular figure there. And also, Arizona is becoming a more democratic state. I think Arizona has drastically changed, and it has become a likely lean Republican state now as a full-on swing state. I think this Arizona has become a very, very, very close state in anything right now. And I think that Mark Kelly would do well here. And right now, I'm trying to find the poll thing. I saw it before, but look at this poll. Mark Kelly has a 64% chance of winning if you add everything up together. Also, 3-point margin, 4-point margin. I don't agree with this. I don't think it would be that much of a landslide. I think you win by 2 points or just 3.2 points or something like that, or 2 points. I don't think it would be that big landslide. I think for me, that's a little too far. Maybe just like 3.2 at the best. I don't know. But I just don't think that the Republicans would do well in Arizona. I don't know why. I just think Arizona is a more moderate state, and Democrats, the polling, you can look at the polling and stuff in elections. The Democrats mostly win moderates. Republicans win independents, yeah, and undecided voters, but moderates mostly go to the Democrats, I think. And I think that Arizona, with the more moderate, obviously, appeal and state election, would go to Mark Kelly. And we also need to know he's an incumbent. And I think Roe v. Wade in Arizona I think Roe v. Wade in Arizona is pretty important too. So I just think if you add everything up together, it's a very likely chance. Like, look, where's the poll? Sorry, I'm going all over the place. Like, come on, look at this. This is chance of winning, though. It's not the actual polls. I just think Mark Kelly will win by lane margin. I just don't know what else to say. And Missouri, I think will be really close, and it's really just because of this one person. I forgot his first name, but his last name is Gritchens. He was the former governor. Here, I'll get him up. Eric Gritchens. He is the former governor of Missouri, obviously a Republican. And he's leading the polls. And this guy has a messed up thing. Okay, this guy's messed up. Okay, number one, he had campaign finance scandal. And most Americans, are frustrated with that system and campaign finance. 2, he has a whole entire thing about domestic abuse to his wife and kids, and a whole entire thing with a hairdresser accusing him of a sexual assault. This is a scandalous guy, okay? Put Richard Nixon, Bill Clinton, and Andrew Johnson. Put them all together, you get this guy, okay? This guy, I think, is not a good candidate. It's political suicide. But this is the thing. He's also leading in the polls. But I don't really think the Democrats have a strong candidate against Gritchens. Missouri went to 15 points to Biden. Not Biden, to Trump in 2020. Obviously a safe state, and is a very Republican state. But it's just like they don't have a strong candidate. There's not a really strong candidate against him. There's no major political figure in Missouri as of now. I think maybe some will start to join later on, but there's not enough strong candidates. And in this poll, it's super close. It's like 0.3 points of Gritchens, and he's winning. I just don't know who would win. That's weird. Okay. Look. This is close. I think this would be a close race. 13% is unsure. But, who's ever heard of this guy? Like, come on. Scott Shifton. Come on. I'm sorry. The Democrats need to get a stronger candidate in this race. If Gritchens wins, this is a major, I'm talking major advantage and benefit for the Democrats. They just need to put funding in the state. If they put funding in the state, and get a really good candidate, I'm talking like really good candidate, they could win the state of Missouri in the Senate, barely, by till. But as of now, I do not think there's a strong enough candidate to beat Gritchens right now. And so that's why I'm going to give Gritchens Missouri by till. And this seems bizarre. I know it seems bizarre. But you have to remember, campaign finance, okay, look at this guy. He's the most scandalous person I've ever seen. He would not do well. Sorry, I was recording. But he is a political suicide candidate. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. The Democrats need a strong candidate, though, against him. And then they could win, I think. I think they could win with a really strong candidate, and if they put funding into the state. But if they don't, I think I'll give it to Gritchens by tilt, just because of his scandalous past. If it wasn't for scandals, safe state for Republicans. But I think I might go too far to give it to tilt to him. But the Democrats really need a stronger candidate. They can win the state by a till margin. It's close. The likely front runner right now is a very terrible, scandalous man who has 2 scandals that would destroy any candidate of any party. So, in conclusion, the Democrats can win the state with more funding, a strong candidate, and Gritchens being unpopular. And, if Gritchens doesn't become the nominee, the Republicans will win. And now, Wisconsin, which I think Wisconsin will be a major swing state. Wisconsin, look at the polling. Okay. Obviously, Mandela Barnes is obviously the Democrat. Well, I think will likely win the Democratic polling. Not polling. Primaries. And look, I don't think Roe v. Wade would affect anything. Also, I forgot to say about Missouri. I think Missouri is more progressive on some issues, including the minimum wage and healthcare. And I do think Roe v. Wade is popular in Missouri. So I'm going to say that would also be an issue. Roe v. Wade would help the Democrats also. I was going to say that, but I didn't for some reason. But, I've seen a lot of political YouTubers. They gave it Wisconsin to tilt. I don't think it would be tilt. I think it would be lean. I don't think Roe v. Wade. I think Roe v. Wade maybe in some cities would be a big issue. But except for for most of Wisconsin, I don't think they really care about Roe v. Wade except for some areas. This is obviously not going to happen. The Republicans will not win Wisconsin by 9 points. I don't think it's truly there yet. But I do think he would win by a lean margin or a tilt margin. I'm going to say 2 points. But I just don't see the Republicans truly having a landslide in Wisconsin or winning it by a really short margin. I just don't know why. And it is because Wisconsin has been one of the most dramatically changed political scenes. We've seen it from 2012 going strongly for Obama to becoming a major swing state in 2020 and becoming more conservative. I think it'll be a safe state. Wisconsin has changed a lot. And I just think that it won't go. I don't know. I think, you know what? I'm going to give it to tilt. I think it would barely be 1 point. I think it would barely be lean. But Roe v. Wade will help. Okay. It will be close. I'm just going to give it to tilt. I don't know. I'm going to give it a lean. Okay, I'm selling this. It will be lean. I think this would be I think Barnes could be a good candidate, though. I think that he could be strong. But Ron Johnson, I think the incumbent Republican, he's gonna. I think he would win. I think everyone really can agree that Ron Johnson will win, but I just don't really honestly see him, winning super big. And now the next state is Ohio. Ohio, I haven't paid a lot. I think Ohio will go to JD Vance. I'm just gonna look at the polling. I just want to look at it. Obviously, I do think JD Vance will win against Tim Ryan. I would say a lean margin, but I just want to look at the polls just for the heck of it. Okay. Also in Ohio, Roe v. Wade would not be a major issue in Ohio. I don't think Ohioans really care about Roe v. Wade. I think Roe v. Wade, again, you either are very against it, you're either very for it, or you're just like very undecided. There's really no in between. You have to be one of those three, or you just don't care about it really. You're one of those. I think Ohio is. I don't really care, undecided. So I don't think Roe v. Wade would affect the Senate race in Ohio. But I do think JD Vance, okay, I'm just trying to see. You know what? I don't need to look at polls. We all know that JD Vance will win by a lean margin. I don't know. JD Vance. It's Ohio. Senate elections is pretty close are pretty close in Ohio. Also, Missouri races are pretty close. Last Josh Hawley, who won in 2018, barely won. He won by 2 points against the incumbent Democrat. Okay, now Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, this is probably one of the only states that the Democrats can flip. Obviously, this has got a lot of attention in the news because the primaries. It's been very close. The Republican Party is, I've said this word a lot, but it's political suicide with Oz. Oz, come on, he's a freaking person from New Jersey that just came out of nowhere. And no one, Trump might have endorsed him, but somebody said, I forgot who said this. People feel like he's a fake conservative. No one really, he wouldn't do well for Fetterman. He would do. I feel like Fetterman also has more appeal. I think it's very likely that the Democrats will win. I think I think I'm going to give it to Fetterman in a lean margin. I just don't think Oz. He's a TV personality. He was a doctor. Okay, if you got earwax stuck in your ear, you do him. Okay, you want him to pass legislation? I don't think so. He's unconnected feeling. John Fetterman. He's pretty good. There's nothing really bad about him. Obviously, there is one thing about him. There's that case where he was trying to see, if that it's a whole thing with a black man in an arm. People say it's racial profile. The person that he did chase and the victim of it, though, did wish he would win, but that's a bad thing. But overall, except for that obvious bad accident, Fetterman doesn't really have a lot of dirt on him. I think he did have a stroke. It's probably just a stroke out of nowhere. But I just think that Pennsylvania will be a strong state for Democrats. I think he'll win it by 4 points. Fetterman, I think, is a good candidate. I think people like him. I think he's a likable person. He's cool. A cool mayor. I don't know how to say it, but yeah. Okay, North Carolina. I think everybody. Also, Pennsylvania. I forgot to say this. Roe v. Wade, I do think would help. I do think Roe v. Wade in Pennsylvania. I think in Pennsylvania, it is a pretty somewhat major issue. I think that people care about Roe v. Wade in Pennsylvania more than other states. So, no, wrong one. Okay, now North Carolina, and then Georgia. That's it. Okay, North Carolina. Look, So I like Cherry Beasley. I don't know why. I just like her a lot for some reason. But I think it's going to go to Republicans by a lean margin. I'm just going to show you the polls to show you guys can see it, I guess. But I think that Ted Budd, He's like the most stereotypical North Carolina Republican you can basically get, I think, in my opinion. I really like Roe v. Wade. I don't think Roe v. Wade, I think, except in like states like obviously like Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina and Georgia. I don't know what Roe v. Wade is in those states. I don't really know a lot about Roe v. Wade in those states. So I'm not going to say anything about Roe v. Wade. But I don't think Roe v. Wade, I think more people are against it, I would say, in North Carolina. Okay, finally. So, the polls right now are showing him winning by 3 points. I do think he would win by 3 points. I do think this is true. Beasley, the best Beasley could do, win by tilt margin, barely. Best case scenario, very, very unlikely to happen. The most realistic thing in the best case scenario, with also being realistic, winning tilt, Ted Budd. That would be most realistic in my opinion. But North Carolina, I don't know why. It feels like it should be a swing state. But I do think it will be a competitive state. And the final state that really is one of the most major ones people should watch out for is Georgia. Obviously, Georgia, I think, will become an extremely close state. Right now is Ralph Warnock, the incumbent Democratic senator who just got elected like in 2020 out of a special election. Right now, I don't think he's very popular here. Roe v. Wade, I think in Georgia. Let me change Florida. I'm just going to put Florida likely because that's more, I don't know, likely, I guess. But Roe v. Wade in Georgia, I think most people in Georgia would support Roe v. Wade as a guess. I don't know. Again, guess from North Carolina and Georgia. I do not know what their stance is really on Roe v. Wade. But, okay, what is this? I'm sorry, what is this? No. Right now, I don't think I agree with this. This is Warnock will win by 2 thrones. I know. This, I think, is, okay. Also, Herschel Walker, I think, is a pretty good candidate. The only, well, if he had political experience, I think Walker I would just give it Walker, Georgia, clean margin. If he was an actual politician with experience. But he's a former football player. But he also, I think, would do well with the minority vote. I do think Warnock would still win the minority vote, but Walker would win the white voters and some of the minority vote, which would help him tip over. Warnock would win the minority vote, but Walker would get a good share of it too. Also, independent voters. It's just like, I'm just going to give this to Ralph Warnock. Look, Georgia. I don't know what to say, really. I just think Warnock could win, though. Warnock could have a chance. I think Georgia will be one of the most watched races. Georgia will be one of the most, it's just going to be one, it's probably going to be the most, the race everybody's going to be watching. But I think, yeah, that's it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But also, white voters, that's funny. Let's look at black voters. I want to see, wait, what? Okay. Never mind. Yeah. I can see when it, but also let's see Biden voters. No better. Oh, 6. That's actually kind of better than I thought. It's for Warnock. 6.8. I thought that'd be less, but obviously a lot are undecided. Let's see. Okay. Warnock is, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I want to give it to Warnock a little bit, but then I also shouldn't because it's obvious he wouldn't win. Look at that. He is winning with independents, which is a major thing. Wait, but a lot of them are undecided. I keep forgetting that there's also that undecided voter. Yeah, I'm just going to stick that. It's definitely going to be for Herschel Walker. So this is what I think overall. I think it's going to be tie to tie. I never thought I would say that, though. But if you look at everybody running, if you see the races, if you see the effects of Roe v. Wade, if you see other stuff mixed into that, you see the candidates that are leading, you see their polling, you put it all together, and I think it can be close. Obviously, the best case, I'm just going to do states that best case scenario for the Democrats: Missouri tilt, North Carolina tilt, and Georgia tilt, with Pennsylvania obviously being likely. Maybe, nah, that's too far. 6 points, yeah, I don't know. Georgia, I mean Arizona also 6 points. Nevada lean. This I think would be the best case scenario for the Democrats. But the best case scenario for the Republicans: Nevada by lean. Sorry about background noise. Arizona also by lean. Georgia by lean. North Carolina by likely. Best case scenario. Ohio by likely. Wisconsin just safe, I guess. And Missouri by likely. This I think would. Oh yeah. Also Pennsylvania. I don't know what this. The best case scenario. If we're gonna go all out, like the best case scenario for the Republicans, I'll give Pennsylvania to the Republicans by tilt, maybe. Yeah, but also I forgot. Oh, I didn't do New Hampshire. So New Hampshire, I do think would not be safe. I think we'd like lean. I mean, sorry, not lean. I think it would be likely, but I'm gonna say tilt. But this is what I think it would be for the best case scenario. But remember, my prediction was Nevada lean, Nevada tilt, Arizona lean for the Democrats, Missouri tilt for Republicans, lean for Wisconsin for the Republicans, also lean for the Republicans in Ohio, lean in Pennsylvania for the Democrats, lean in North Carolina, and tilt for the in Georgia, tilt for Georgia Republicans. But this is what I think it would look like. I think a lot of people agree with me, not on the margins though. I think the margins people might disagree with me on, but I do think most people can agree with this on me. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and tell me what you guys want to see in the next video. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.